Single women in their 40s are too traumatized to date. Not all of them, but to be 40 and single, is there a problem?
So I'm single. I'm like 2 years away from 40, and I'm still single. I am child-free by choice, but certainly, by myself, single, never married, never committed to a man. And a lot of people assume that it's because I have commitment issues.
Commitment issues at 38. A woman that's almost 40 years old. No kids, no man, never been married. Some people would question, well, why? Do you have commitment issues? Or did no man ever want to commit to you? Thus, you're single now.
Like, they put it on me. And I'm going to tell you about my life today, a little bit about my love life throughout the
Okay.
years, the different decades, the different guys that I used to attract, and how I kind of got wise to that, and how I got out of the game in a sense, and how I am now manifesting my spiritual husband from a past life.
Okay.
Also, welcome to my channel. I'm Emanuela Rose, aka the Blue Angel, and this is my vlog channel where I document my journey in search of love in my own personal Atlantis. I'm a
Okay.
magical travelpreneur and sorceress.
Okay, before she finishes her waffling,
Spiritual husband.
it is an important question for men to ask women. Like, how are you a certain age and you don't have a man in your life? You don't have a serious man. But why has no man committed to you? Do men see red flags in you? Do men see a reason to avoid you? Or do they just see a reason to have fun with you but never commit to you? Now, on one hand, you can say it's toxic. On the other hand, you can say, no, these are actual questions men would ask. Because if a man her age or a little older than her were to date her, it'd be like, well, why are you single enough for me to even meet you? The sad reality is, by 40, a lot of women are traumatized so much, damaged so much, that it's like, yeah, good luck.
In
Island of
Paphos,
love.
Cyprus, the island of the goddess of love. So yeah, I'm legit living on an island, like, sorceress on an island these days. But it took me a long time to get here. It took me a long time to find myself. So when it comes to love, I always tended to attract, like, from an early age, people who were like, not nice people, because I do come
Okay.
from a dysfunctional, situation growing up. I don't want to, like, use all
Okay.
the bad words that YouTube's gonna, like, not like, and
Let's just say she's a Jenny. She's a Jenny. Traumatizing childhood, which is bad for her, but also sadly paints a picture of the sort of adulthood she may have.
minutes of the video. But like, I had a very, very traumatic childhood with extremely extreme things, like extreme PTSD and stuff like that. Like, it all happened. And this is like a an old theory in therapeutic psychology that, like, people who do those things to other people, they can sense, like, they have a little radar. A man who does that kind of stuff to, who wants to hurt a person, will find the victim. Like, they can smell it on you. And that kind of, like, my first decade of dating with people like that. Also much older men, because
Of
in my
course.
20s, basically, much older men, because obviously daddy issues,
Of
and
course.
a lot of girls who are young. That was my thinking when I was young. I didn't feel like boys my age would find me attractive, so I felt like if I dated an
Interesting.
older man, he'll be more appreciative of me.
Interesting point. Interesting point. Haven't heard a lot of women make it from that perspective. Her own insecurities as a 20-year-old woman made her more vulnerable to older men. Okay, you don't hear a lot of women admitting that. But the point I want to make, and the point that's obvious by now, is yeah, this woman has been through a lot. A lot. Okay, using her as an example. The video's not about her, but there are many women who have been through the exact same thing she's been through. Now, a man dating her, not her specifically, but a man dating a woman like her who has been through a lot, who may have dated many older men in her 20s, men of various age in her 20s. Let's just say she got ran through in her 20s, just, as an example. It's a woman that got ran through in her 20s, and she's somewhat messed up now. Yeah, you see where I'm going. And then you try date her, and it's like, oh my god, this woman, she's a mess. She's a mess. Yeah. An obvious point is being a man 40 plus, dating a woman 40 plus, is like, it's not so easy, is it?
Nope.
What was her past like to determine who she is now?
So, like, the older men who were dating me, like, I dated one guy when I was like 18. He was 35, and
Okay.
he was a predator. Like, I mean, plain and simple, like, he wanted to date a teenager. So, like, that's not he wasn't more appreciative of me. I should've just, stuck with boys my age. And it's not like boys my age didn't find me attractive, it's just, like, I had all these, like, hang-ups from my childhood, from my parents,
Okay.
from the abuse that I went through, that I had, like, all these issues, right? So, obviously, I attracted, more people just like my parents. I was trying to, like, relive that, trauma. And, and
Of
then
course.
also I was from an early age, I wasn't living with them, with my family. So I was on my own as a teenager and young person. And then into my 20s, I was always like an expat, or like I was always living in a foreign country too.
Mm,
Then I went to live in England as well. So I
okay.
lived in England in my 20s, and it was like the worst. Like, I'm not gonna lie, no offense to my English people here, but that was like the worst experience of my entire life when it
I didn't see this part of the video. So she lived in England in her 20s. So, oh, damn. Wow, wow. So, yeah, I can sort of understand what her 20s must have been like.
Spicy.
This is drugs.
Let's just say if she wanted to have fun, oh, she would have had a lot of fun. There would have been more than enough dudes to help her have her fun in more than enough filthy ways. Nasty. From her own mouth. Yeah, a lot of things from her mouth. But seriously, from her own mouth, she says her 20s living in England was quite traumatic. Now, it's a sense of, look, yeah, things happened to her. Not saying any of it's good, of course, it's not good what happened to her. She went through a lot, and that's why she's traumatized now as a woman, leaning heavily on 40. But it's like, that's the point. It's never any man's fault that meets a woman, for her past. I know women want to blame men on a whole. Oh, it's all men. If the men from her past were better men, she wouldn't be messed up now when you meet her. And it's like, that's sort of stupid. On one hand, yeah, you can say that. On the other hand, women like what they like. If a lot of women like reckless dudes when they're younger, okay. They like what they like. They wanted that. They chose that. So you can't blame men on a whole for what women desire, what women want. If those men mess her up, okay, it's what she wanted. So the obvious point is, a lot of men know this. A lot of women don't want to accept it. That's their problem. A lot of men know this. You're a messed up woman. You let men mess you up. Okay, you had a bad childhood, daddy issues. Thus, you sought a certain type of man. Yeah, that's why I call her a Jenny. Women with daddy issues are Jennies. But it's never the fault of the man who meets her. And the point a lot of people don't want to admit is, a lot of women your own age are traumatized. Being a man 40 plus, a lot of women your own age are traumatized. A lot of men are traumatized as well. But it's just an extra reason, an obvious reason for a lot of men to be cautious and avoid.
comes to love and dating, the people, like, there's just no bond. Like, they don't date, they just like do the deed and that's it, bang.
There
And
you go.
it's kind of a degrading culture. I don't know, maybe I just
Again, she was living in England, but whatever.
attracted those boys. And and the theme always was, and it's kind of funny because that's my casting type in acting. Like, my casting type in
Oh,
acting is like, a bit of a, like, uh you know what I mean, like, gangster's wife, femme fatale kind of thing. And that tends to be how men see me, in life, like in dating. When I tried it all, but Bill, and here's the thing, in my 30s and my 20s, I tried it all. I was always trying to find my soulmate, like a man who would
okay,
like love me. Because this is the thing, when you feel like so orphaned, when you're estranged from your family, you had bad experiences with your family, you weren't loved by your parents, you need
okay.
so much love, and you have so much love to give as well, because it like accumulates in you. Now, gonna try cry. So, when I was in my 20s, like, I'm gonna find someone who's like gonna like, we're gonna love each other, and we're
Oh,
gonna create a family together, and it's gonna be amazing. And all I kept attracting was these like guys who just wanted to, like, they were married, wanted to have affairs, sugar daddies, all of that. That's all I kept attracting.
of
Or like
course,
guys who just wanted to bang and whatever.
of course.
And then also apart from that, let me just say, before people say, like, oh, it's because of the way you look, it's how you are. I went through many phases. I'm a Scorpio sun and rising, so I've transformed myself many times. I used to be blonde. Then that's what I thought, like, too. I was like, well, let me not be blonde. Let me become a little gray mouse, like all the, people in England around me at the time. Like, and I'm not calling anybody out from England, but that's like the fashion in England. Like, I really was like, I used to stay out there too much, and they didn't like me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be less blonde, be more like blend in with everybody else, cut my hair, made myself uglier, basically made myself ugly.
Damn.
Like
No way. No way. Insulting British chicks just made herself uglier. Damn. Wow. Damn. But amongst her rambling, waffling, she did mention she was looking for love. And as men, we often cook and roast the F out of women about their body counts. When from a lot of women's perspective, they're trying to find love or their soulmate amongst all these knobs they're getting bombarded by. Yeah. So on one hand, can we say that some women only collect so many bodies, hordes of bodies in search of love? Or is it absolute nonsense? It's BS. On one hand, it is. Some women just like to get D down, but some women, I guess, were looking for a soulmate. But a lot of women just wanted to get D down, didn't they?
Like, I remember doing that and thinking, like, it was a good move for my academic career because at the time I wanted to be in academia. And,
Oh,
like, it's just so sad that I felt like I had to uglify myself whatever,
damn,
make myself less attractive to, like, fit in with the idea of what an intelligent woman is. Anyway, so because
damn.
I am very smart, people, like, it's funny when people call me dumb and whatever because it's that's like a casting type. It's not who I am. Um, so yeah, I was a hopeful in the academic world, but as you know, my whole generation, we're the lost generation. Um, we just, crisis hit us so many crises and everything. Academia wasn't a doable thing for me. Um, but yeah, so I cut my hair, made it brown, wanted to like downgrade myself. And you know what? Still the same guys approached me and they still wanted the same thing. Didn't work. The good boys didn't approach me. Um, the good boys didn't, commit to me. But the good boys, you know what? Sometimes the good boys did. They were the good boys with the girlfriends, and they still, I still see them looking at me, and they still, they would look at me or try and date me behind their girl's back and all of that. I sweep up all the cheaters. I don't cheat. I'm not into that.
Oh, I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh. The good boys were trying to date her behind their girlfriend's back. Do you know, it benefits a lot of men that some women are just such a mess. But for men looking for something genuine, it's like, yeah, we can have fun, but something serious? Is that what men saw when they saw her? Fun, but nothing serious. Thus, she's traumatized right now. I'm just saying, I'm asking.
Not inviting it, but I do sweep up a lot of those people. So that's kind of my dating history. And it really isn't like I tried it all. I did like the blonde, I did the bimbo, I did the, Virginia Woolf academic, I did the mousy girl. I try to be all the, different things that people were telling me that I was, because it was always on me. Well, why don't you have a man? Why don't you find someone? I think a lot of it is because I was a stranger in a strange land. It was the culture of the place, especially in England. Then I lived in Argentina, and, like, Argentina is just, like, scrumptious, but, like, the men there are just aestheticals, like, it was just too much I dated a lot, but I just never found someone that I felt like, "Yeah, that makes sense." Again, people wanna have fun, but what they people tend to, like, see me as wanting to have fun with me rather than committing to
No.
me, and, like, that's the thing that I want the most is that
It's okay. Again, using her as an example, lovely woman. Look, lovely woman.
See me as wanting to have fun with me.
She's actually spilling out her guts. Lovely woman. Fun chick, though. Fun chick. I did kind of say it, but I wasn't trying to be rude. But she says men just saw her as fun. Men just still see her as fun. Now, again, people are going to blame men. Oh, how dare men. Oh, why don't men see her soul and her heart and her inner beauty? And it's like, really? Men are going to notice a woman's inner beauty from down the street or on the internet, oh, her inner beauty. No, men are looking at, hey, this chick looks fun. Again, I'm not saying it's great, but at nearly 40, she's come to the realization herself. Maybe this woman may never find a husband because she can always find a man because men see her as fun. So she'll always be able to find a man, probably. It's the point where women get it wrong. They think because they hit the wall, they can never find a man. And no. But it depends on if men see you as something to commit to or fun.
commitment and I need it. I'm a very vulnerable person out there in the world,
Oh,
without a support system. And, I was hoping maybe that would attract a good person, like a knight in shining armor to try and help me. That's what I
oh,
want. I'm a
oh,
damsel in distress. I need a knight in shining armor to come and help
damn,
me. And what I've ended up attracting is just predators because they see that vulnerability,
wow.
the damsel in distress, and it's the crime squad comes through. Um, and does stuff like that. So I just never really, I just never met anyone that was, on a deep soul level that I loved. Maybe, maybe one or two people. Actually, there was like one person, but he has his own issues, Uh, so I don't know. Anyways, but I've just never had that. I've just never had that. And I'm not saying. And here's the thing: my whole new age thing is, for you, boo-boos, if you're experiencing this, or if you're attracting the wrong kind of person, I really dislike the new age gurus who are like, well, you're attracting it because you have the wrong energy. It's your fault. You need to change something in you. Boo-boo, don't listen to that. Like, people, there's a lot of different things happening. A lot of different energies in the 3D and the astral planes. And the
Of
material
course.
world. When this kind of thing happens, sometimes men and women, anyone in between, are just trash and pigs, and they will be attracted to you for the wrong reasons.
Wow.
And you have a lot of light in you, and you have a lot of life in you. People will, a lot of destructive energy will gravitate towards your light. So, don't listen. I really wouldn't listen to those gurus saying there's something wrong with you. Like blaming, especially blaming women, that like, well, why can't you find a good man? There's no good men out there, hardly any.
Okay, I get her point because a lot of men do just blame women. Ah, it's your problem, woman. You're a woman. Men just want women anyway. Why can't you find a man? Why don't you have a man? Where's your man, woman? Manless. Manless. So yes, of course, a lot of men do rub it. They do rub a lot of, salt into the wounds of a single woman of a certain age, or single women in general. But in a way, let's be honest, a lot of men are projecting, but they're projecting for a reason, because they understand too many simps exist in the world. Too many men are weak. Too many men will literally drink a woman's bathwater for the thrill of it, for the kick of it. Yeah, literally. So because men know other men are like that, and because some men are like that themselves, dirty bastards, they'd question like, wait a second, why do you not have a man obsessed with you in your life? Or do you have a man obsessed with you? Have you had men obsessed with you in your life, but you didn't treat them right, or you friend zoned them in some way? You see, men would ask many questions. That's why men are concerned with a woman's past. Even, I get it, to reckless degrees, men are overly concerned with a woman's past, but it's like, yo, woman, how are you here with no man who ever wanted to stay around you? And for as long as it is, men would think, you must have been a fun chick. You must have had a fun past. And men realized you were not the sort of woman to commit to. Again, using her as an example. But, there are a lot of women, but there are a lot of women out there like that, aren't they? This is a childless woman. Did no man ever accidentally get her pregnant? No man wanted to marry her to get her pregnant. She was always in the bracket of the fun time, sadly. And some men would say now she's a leftover fun chick. I'm not saying that, but some people would say.
And the society perpetuates the idea that it's okay for them not to be good, and then blames us if we have fun, or if we use them, or if we do whatever we need to do. Anyways, it's like a whole other story. But yes, so take it from me. I'm living the magical life. I'm
Whoa.
literally a daughter of Hecate, living on an island, just like Circe right now, on a Greek
Okay.
island.
Of
And
course.
people can't love, and they will latch on to very superficial features in you. And then, we all have these, I call them casting types in dating, right? Because they're your energies, archetypes. My archetype is the high priestess, the sorceress. So
Okay.
a lot of that is
Magical.
sexual energy. So I attract. So, there's like a whole side to that.
There's a whole side to that. Yeah, look, she said it. Look, she said it. I'm going by what she's saying herself. She just said that. So in some way, she should not be surprised. That's how men have seen her. She's admitting she's radiating that energy. Hey, you're a fun chick. It's not surprising you're a single woman now. Wouldn't be surprising as well if you'd find a lot of men who would have fun with you.
That's all that, modern men understand. They don't understand the sorcery part of it. They just understand the whole part of it, whatever, because they're dumb. Anyways,
Oh my God.
just remember, boo, things come at the right time, and, don't let other people
Like a lot of men from your past? Okay, seriously.
will tell you that, it's something you're doing wrong that's like making you single. And also enjoy your singledom. This is my story so far. This is why I'm still single at 40, and I'm loving it. I've had a very beautiful life. I've had met many different boys.
Of course.
I've had my heart broken many times. I broke some hearts, but it's still, a beautiful, scrumptious journey, and it brought me here to the island of Cyprus.
Okay, on her little island, single. No man is an island, no. But when a lot of the women you have to choose from are broken women, it's like, sometimes it's better to be on a damn island by yourself. Have a nice day.
See me as wanting to have fun with me,